Hello everyone, my name is Konark Bhatia and you're watching me on Creative Edge YouTube channel. And today we have very distinguished guest with us, Colonel Bose jo hai. He is head of institutions for United World Institute of Design and he's also chair of KU Global. And along with him, we have got Mrs. Manisha Mohan. She's Dean Academics, United World Institute of Design. So, sir and ma'am, most welcome to Creative Edge channel. With your permission, can we start this talk show?
Most welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure. And also, thank you for coming and discussing United World. This is the fastest growing design school in India with 3,500 students. And it's always great to talk to the young minds and aspiring minds in design.
I'm sure, sir, these next few minutes, 30, 40 minutes, we'll be giving a lot of guidance to the students. So, sir and ma'am, my first question, I'm directly coming to my questions. How is the design industry evolving both in India and globally? And I mean, in this, could you share your insights on where the industry is headed and what emerging trends or shifts are you noticing these days?
Yeah. So let me take the first thing forward, seeing that we visit all the global institutes across the world. I've just come back from SCAD nearly a month back on an invitation to New York, Atlanta, and Savannah. And we have collaborations with nearly most prestigious design associations of the world in fashion technology and safety. In entire visual communication product interaction design is the Cumulus Association, which is based out of Aalto University, Finland. As also from Ottawa, we also look at the World Design Organization. It's great that we have been able to put the Indian colleagues of ours, some of the faculty members who were batchmates of our dean and one or two senior at these global places. Yeah. So as we know, that gradually and the fact that most prestigious business as well as engineering schools have started design as some sort of a delivery mechanism. Each has got their own slant to it.
Correct, sir.
We understand that gradually, with the emergence of technology, design is sitting at a high table, you know. So let's look at some of the names. And we have a Dean ma'am who has worked what was now emerging into Tata Interactive and Tata. And she's been there. I mean, she's one of the few who have gone into industry straight out of NID. Her perspective would matter. But having been to Delft, TU Berliner, seeing how FIT works, seeing how Parsons works, so we have a sense that with the emerging tech, which is 3D printing, IoT, AI, generative AI, design is something being a game changer in the world of domains which were very, very static and they were the type. Now, why is it so exciting for the new Gen Z and beyond and Alpha, etc., to take on? Because a designer is for life. Like a doctor, like a lawyer, this is something they should understand that it changes. They are getting into sabbatical, they are getting into projects, they are getting into permanent faculty. Sometimes they are adjunct faculty. Sometimes their heart rules what they want to do and give back to society. So design has moved from being very focused, but with emergence of tools like AI, generative AI, looking at circular economy, sustainability. So we also become responsible designers. You know, you're a responsible doctor, you're a responsible lawyer, you're a responsible engineer, your bridge don't fall down, but you also become today a very responsible designer where you're looking at what India needs, inclusivity. So we have brought in social design, social entrepreneurship as part of our curriculum. We have also looked at sustainability. This world, this planet can only sustain one more generation or two more. Everyone tells us that. But as designers, use of material, how you look at wastages. So there's a great product out of the Sustainable Design School. Some of our faculty are working with France in that, where how you look at wastages And from
Mhm.
wastages, you get a treasure out of making a garment or making. So you, as a designer, are actually your personality extends. Firstly, we said your passion personality extends to your portfolio, which is seen in our 3 levels of design aptitude test. But also now you're making things where that brand is getting a value add and maybe great revenues based on what you have made it into something. So, so at inclusivity, companies like Nike, all the products are using the 3 dimensions of sustainability. We are also seeing a huge growth wherever a Tesla or Apple or whichever companies have taken design in its right as part of their DNA,
Mhm.
their CGR and their compounded rate of growth is much higher than others. So this setting telling. So just to recap, many engineering colleges are getting into design. Many business colleges are moving into design.
Right.
There's a
Yes, yes.
whole sustainability aspect, but let us not forget that there's a journey toward design. So that is something which design schools, a prestige one like UID and few others, they take you to a journey that you become what we call a lifelong designer. Over to Manisha. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think Surajit sir captured it very beautifully. I can only talk from the experience of being a practicing designer for over 20 years with the Tatas. When I started off as a designer, there were very few people who really understood what a designer was. And we had to be evangelists, we had to explain what we were. But now, the students who will get into design at this point, I think the sky is the limit for them. There is a wealth of opportunities out there in the industry because corporates are looking out for designers and not just as producers. They are looking for people who will enter their boardrooms. Designers will drive strategy. And if there is no designer in a company, the company is incomplete. So they play that sort of a pivotal role. And yes, definitely technology is a very important trend, and the way designers can harness it, the whole digital transformation movement that is happening, because AI gives a lot of possibilities to designers to innovate. It is, in fact, a tool that they can harness and innovate with and create more options and understand the user much better. So, AI is a definite important tool in the hands of designers. And entrepreneurship, I feel, because designers naturally are entrepreneurs, the way they think, the way they come to user needs.
Mhm.
And now with the government also supporting, startups very actively, and universities, and especially I can say that Karnavati University and UID, we really support startups and really give prominence to the ideas that students come up with. So there are a lot of possibilities out there, and entrepreneurship is definitely an important trend for designers. And the rest of it, I think Colonel Sir has covered very beautifully. And I would say that this is a great field to be in today.
So for my viewers, if I can summarize both of you, I've got a big wisdom from senior people. Uh, I guess हम ये देख रहे हैं कि आज की ट्रेंड में जो पहले का नॉन कन्वेंशनल चीज हुआ करता था डिजाइन, जैसा मनीषा मैम आपने बताया, आई थिंक कर्नल बोस ने उसी को पहले बहुत एलॉबरेटिवली समझाया कि जो पहले एक नॉन कन्वेंशनल चीज होता था वो आज पुराने कन्वेंशनल चीजें लाइक इंजीनियरिंग लाइक मैनेजमेंट, इफ दे आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स डिजाइन, सो टुडे वी कैन से डिजाइन इज द न्यू कन्वेंशनल और दिस द न्यू कन्वेंशनल, इट इज नीड ऑफ द आवर. सो विद दिस मैम आपने एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चीज निकाला था. इनफैक्ट मेरे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स, बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स हमें काउंसलिंग में ड्यूरिंग आवर सेशंस दैट वी टेक इन आवर क्लासेस, हमें कई लोग ये पूछते हैं, विल एआई ईट अवे जॉब्स, एंड what is your perspective of AI eating away or taking away or replacing designers?
So I think AI will replace designers who don't harness AI. So the designers who run away from AI and say, that is not important, or they are scared of it and they don't get into it, they are the ones who will become extinct. So we do believe that designers who harness technology, they have the chances of really, being the king. Let the designer be the king, and let them rule AI. And the role of a designer is really to humanize technology, to make AI more accessible to the common man, and make sure that they understand and are able to use it effectively. So it opens up a whole lot of possibilities. It is a great ideation tool. It's a great way of knowing your user better, personalizing the experience much better. So I would say it's a big plus to really know AI, and I don't see any jobs getting lost, especially for designers. If you're a creative person, there is a space for you in this world.
Wow.
So,
That's a
इसको
yes, sir.
आगे बढ़ाते हुए, I just wanted to say
Yes, sir,
a
please.
few things on this, So the role of a designer is that beyond creativity, they also have to be problem solvers into
Sure,
all
sir.
aspects,
I'm
And
sure,
that
sir.
is the real DNA, or that is the aspiration they need to keep in mind, correct? Now, having said that, and why? In UID, we always try to move ahead of the curve because of everything being globally benchmarked. That's something we say, that everything has to be globally benchmarked. Today, there's a 60 computer NVIDIA server AI lab. Creative coding is part of our DNA from semester 1 onwards. We
Wow,
have
sir.
changed the entire strategy, and this will be once the courses have been revamped, they go through the BOS process, they go through academic board, etc.
Mhm.
So AI is, as rightly said Manisha ma'am, that if you are creative, you will not think of AI. As I said, you're a designer for life. There are aspects of AI which has closed. So when we came into computer, we thought all the gods were lost. But it opened huge opportunities. Today, one can't
Definitely.
live without a laptop.
Without a
Your
laptop.
has become
Absolutely.
part. So similarly, especially generative AI, where you're collaborating with tech experts, you're closing the timeline. Now, suppose a film from which first the reels used to be changed, now it became beta, then it became 4K, and then the whole film can be not even in the size of a hard disk. Whereas
Correct.
we know of the days when one reel used to move to one cinema hall, and that cinema hall brought it to some other cinema hall. We have lived through those lives.
And I
So
rather remember, sir, that we used to understand कि 21 रील की पिक्चर है कि
इस
16 रील की
कभी
है,
कभी
कितना
गलत
टाइम
भी हो
लगेगा.
जाती थी.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
So, but AI has actually unleashed tremendous opportunities for a
Mhm.
creative person.
Mhm.
In making a short film, reels, as they say, the AI has closed so many boundaries, and now the creative person can do much more with AI as a tool, as a helping hand. Look at
Mhm.
AI's Sensi, जो नया आया है.
Correct, बिल्कुल सर.
It says fashion में, it will give you choices of palettes, but that's it. As a creative person, sensing the season, sensing the weather, sensing Indian sensibilities, you will create a product which ultimately has to sell. So, in the United World Institute of Design, there are 2 or 3 things we take very serious. We give, we know that a student will pass out in 5 years, 4 years. He'll be placed in 4 years' time. So why not bring that word 4 years hence backwards 4 years to give them that extra ledge
Correct.
over competition? It's not
Correct.
I'll not be overstating that nearly it's a 5 crore concept of getting 60 NVIDIA labeled AI lab. And sir, whenever you come, you can just show, and I'm sure our people will be showing it. And also a gaming lab. And AI is getting into gaming in a big way, like it is
Correct.
getting into fashion, with Clo giving us some opportunities of doing things digitally. Similarly, AI is also giving us, especially generative AI and all the models which everyone is introducing, it is shortening timelines, and the designer can now put all his attention into getting more creative in his job. Earlier, it became a routine job of going through a slew of activities to get a product or a service, or even an experience, which are the three domains which a designer is supposed to bring as a change maker into whichever world they are in, whichever domain they are in, whether it is transdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. And that's also something which is happening. While tech is getting in, it's also getting transdisciplinary, because emotions matter, sir. The emotions are something which are going to be what is client facing, what is required, the mapping it through the entire design thinking and the design process. All these are the tools, toolkits of a designer. AI is just shortening and giving you more time to look at further opportunities further.
Exactly, sir. Very well quoted by you, sir, and ma'am. And I guess what you're talking about is change is the only constant that we see everywhere in every job. And I guess in design, it is all the more necessary. I guess AI से हम लोग चीजें बहुत सुपर फास्ट कर पा रहे हैं एंड चीजें बहुत सिंप्लीफाई कर पा रहे हैं। और मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को हमेशा बोलता हूँ, एआई एक चीज नहीं कर सकता, वो डिजाइन नहीं कर सकता। डिजाइन की प्रोसेस में हेल्प बहुत कर सकता है। भाई कंप्यूटर कुछ क्रिएट ही तो नहीं कर सकता, यही तो मुद्दा था शुरू से। चलिए सर आगे बढ़ते हैं।
एक चीज और कहना चाहता हूँ,
जी
we
जी जी
take the World Economic Forum as a benchmark of lot of statistic trends. So if you see the latest finding of World Economic Forum, 97 million jobs are going to be created as post AI. So that also gives us, if you see these stats, please have a look at the stats, see what the World Economic Forum, which they meet generally in Switzerland and all the cold climates. But they are saying that 97 million jobs are going to be created only with AI. And therefore, generative AI, and these have become part of the curriculum in UID.
I'm sure, sir. I mean, इसी तरीके से we can actually felicitate all the students, and that's what institutions like yours are actually helping the complete industry in a way. You very well quoted that your students are going to be in industry 4 years hence. You have to actually prepone whatever you can foresee in next 4 years, and that's really very well quoted. सर मैम, अब मैं एकदम एक बॉम्ब क्वेश्चन गिराने वाला हूँ आप लोगों के ऊपर। प्लीज पार्डन मी सेइंग दैट, बट मैं आज अपने स्टूडेंट्स की तरफ से बात कर रहा हूँ, है ना। सो हम ये देखते हैं सर कि एक गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज के पास सारी चीजें हैं जो एक अच्छा इंस्टीट्यूशन बना सकती है, in terms of resources, in terms of recognition. How or what makes a private institutions like United World Institute of Design stand out? What compelling advantages do you believe UID offers that students might not get from a government college? And मतलब मेरा तो बहुत सर specific question है कि why a private college? Why not a government college?
So there are 2, 3 points, and
Yeah.
I'll bring them slowly, gradually.
I'm sure, sir.
Yeah. One is that the fact that 90 students of mine for their masters after UID are in Parsons, are in FIT, are in Swinburne. Across the world, wherever we go, at times we see our students there, which gives us the fact that we, as a state private university, passed by the parliament of that state, which gives its recognition, which follows all the rules of any legacy institute, because we are UGC. Only thing, we are not institutions of national importance, but we have to follow all the rules which the government makes. So in that sense, we are not private in that sense. If you see my placement brochure, 6 people have interned with Tarun Taylor, 5 have done with JJ Valaya, and they have gone to all the top Landor. See, Anushka Jain, I'm just showing you all these names. And why I'm showing you that Rahul Mishra, Tarun Teliani, Amit Agarwal, Rohit Gandhi, Rahul Khanna, and similarly in visual communication, which is our forte. So institutions are now not only bothered about whether they came from legacy institute. They see the bright, how students are, and therefore they see what contents we have been able to give through a very curated process. That is one. The part with sometimes we overemphasize, there's all our infrastructure. If someone visits us, you see that it is all, everything is as global can be.
Okay.
The entire furniture lab and the wood crafting lab is Felder, made out of Austria, and all the equipment imported from Austria, Japan, and from Germany. All our 3D printers are Ultimaker. We have SLS, SLE, our AR/VR holograph. So from infrastructure, our promoters have not left even one stone unturned in case we are nearly as big as a factory. So I tell them sometimes that except for making an airplane, we can make anything here. All our mementos, dresses, everything is designed in-house. We
Okay.
don't outsource anything, correct?
Mhm.
From concept to creation, correct? Now, what happens is that if I have to match up with competition, I have to keep running to be seen to be standing. You know, in that world, you know, the
Correct,
world is
correct.
going round,
Yes, yes,
you are
absolutely,
looking back
absolutely.
to standing. So, what gives me greatest pleasure is nearly 95% placement in some of the top companies, Landor, Fitch, Tata Motors, Tata Elxsi. My students are interning, and from interning now, Volkswagen in Germany have given them MS to do.
Mhm.
Porsche in just a little bit ahead of Frankfurt is one of the most prestigious institution of Germany. For the
Mhm.
first time, my students has got interest in masters. Then comes the fact I have 200 students now who are doing a semester abroad. They are doing in Politecnico, which is the topmost institute in Italy.
Yes, okay,
They are
yes.
doing in Nottingham Trent, which is one of the topmost known,
Okay.
but they also have Goldsmith and Southampton. My
Mhm.
students are going to SCAD next year, 49 of them, which is one of the topmost institute in service.
US. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
all these type of factors are seen by the faculty before, by the parents before they entrust us. You know,
Correct.
so therefore, while we are global, we also try to give them as good an experience, a student satisfaction, which is mapped through student faculty meetings, town halls, coffee with colonel, and we use all. So we get all the feedback. Not all is positive. There are some negative
Yeah,
feedback. We take
yes,
it all
absolutely.
in our stride to constantly. So the only thing which keeps us is the constant pursuit for excellence
Mhm.
in all matters, whether it is curriculum, whether it is faculty. I've got 170 faculty. Mahendra Patel, who is a doyen and an iconic figure born out of MSU, NID, teaches us typography. We have
Mhm.
Ravi Puvaya, Ajanta Sen come out of IDC emeritus, they teach here. We try and get international faculty and everything. So we have to little bit outdo more than what the legacy government was to show.
Correct.
And
Your views, I mean, on
yes,
this.
I think yeah, totally agree with what Colonel said. And I think us being a private institute, we have a bit more flexibility, and we do try to be very, very student centered. Like if you see all those colorful pictures behind me, they're all made by students,
Mhm.
and it's all different events, whether they are film festivals or student fests, or each of the departments regularly have student driven, student centered events, and we are always trying to do better and better for them. We have many listening posts. So our curriculum, for instance, we keep making changes based on student inputs as well as inputs from international experts from different universities and industry experts. So we are able to bring that flexibility because we are, we are able to make the changes because I think the way we are poised and the way we are organized. And if you visit our campus, and I would urge also the students and their parents to visit our campus, it is truly vibrant and it has some of the best infrastructure. I don't think that there is any other design institute that could, have this beautiful infrastructure. I remember when I first came here, I thought I came to Disneyland. It's just a lovely experience.
That's great, ma'am. Ma'am, still, I would, with all your eye-opening answers and the way you've presented it, I would still say, ma'am, you are from NID. I mean, you have been to a premier government institution. I'll not say, I mean, criticize anyone or praise anyone, but what is that difference that you see as an academician, you know, getting out of a premier institute, and I'm sure the way Colonel Bose and you have explained us, it is a premier. I mean, United World Institute of Design is a premier institution, and I would now not say it a private college, but rather a regulated design college. Uh, आप क्या difference देखते हैं मैम between these two colleges?
course, I mean, I was very privileged to be in NID. I was taught by some of the masters in design. I mean, they were experts who really taught us, who are renowned masters in the field of design. And I was very privileged to be in such a wonderful institute. And I wouldn't really compare one versus the other. The only thing I can say is that I consider UID also a premier institute, and it is the largest and one of the best design institutes in the country. So very proud of it. And apart from that, in terms of the flexibility to change, the freedom to invest, Sir just talked about our AI lab. I think we are very dynamic in that sense. And the leadership is driven from the top, from our president, from Surajit Sir also. We move with the trends very fast. And I think I wouldn't say this versus NID, but it is more about us being very open to the changes in the environment and very keen to really prepare our students for the future. So we are very agile, and that helps us a lot. And we really try to, and since we have multiple tie-ups with international organizations, institutions, our students are also placed in some of the best of companies. We're constantly learning and constantly innovating. So I think the pace of change over here and transformation in a positive direction, that is something to be cherished and special.
I'm sure, ma'am. I'm sure. And I'm
Just
sure.
to take it one
Yes,
or
sir,
two
please.
more areas, because
Yeah.
each institution by its growth develops into something, when some of it is, you can't, it's not apples to apples or oranges to oranges, but each develops a particular thing. In UID's case, late Kumar Vyas laid the foundation stone of UID. So we carry a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, being just about 10 kilometers from NID Gandhinagar campus and maybe another 30 minutes drive to the iconic Paldi campus.
Iconic Paldi
And
campus.
they developed it in a way where they got a lot of international help from government funding, etc. What happens in state private, or where all the money is deployed in only growth and further growth, you look at faculty and trying to get the best from India, from outside India. So a lot of international faculty. You also do Ahmedabad Design Week, which is a confluence of international masters into the future direction every time.
Correct.
We are also now the only institute in the state private where the Chief of Army Staff has come and delivered. Last year, the Chief of Navy has come. And we now have scholarships of 300% scholarships from the Indian Navy. We also give defense scholarship 25% to all defense personnel, including anyone who has been martyred or served the nation, and not only defense forces, means CRP, Central Police Officers, police organizations, etc. So why am I saying this? That each has to develop their own way of getting into the limelight or showcasing. So what we do is very cutting edge, state of the art equipment, curriculum which is future forward and fast developing. The best is the agility. Now, you and I know that in certain areas, there's a whole hierarchy of chain of command and getting it. That is something which is very smooth, that we can take immediate decisions, whether it's procuring equipment, getting the best of faculty, getting our students to go on international trips, or getting this only institute in India who has been able to have 3 semesters abroad through its global design program. So these type of things, agility, and all the time knowing fully well that there's a whole world around you. How do you stand out? You stand out by working hard. You stand out by putting more stress on yourself so that the student outcomes are better. So that is the way we have been able to say reach competition in some small way.
Yes, I'm sure, sir. I'm sure, sir. पर सर मुझे बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स की क्वेरी आई, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने फीडबैक दिया कि सर यूआईडी अफोर्डेबल नहीं है, महंगा है, कॉलेज बहुत कॉस्टली है. So sir, I just wanted to ask, I mean, so I will not like your comment on महंगा है सस्ता है, वो मुझे नहीं, sir. I'm sure आप लोग इतना कर रहे थे, you must have put a justified fees to it. But मैं आपसे from my student community ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, is it really justified? Is it really worth it? And अभी आपने कुछ mention किया scholarship. तो आदि scholarship very regular scholarship during admission मिल जाता है, या वो scholarship कोई और तरीके से मिल सकता है, performance based मिलता है, कैसे मिलता है? So you can just put in some light on this piece,
Yeah.
please.
So inherently, design schools, design infrastructure are costly.
Correct.
If you have to get the best of faculty, so you have to pay a certain amount of price.
I'm sure.
The third is we are not the costliest if you do a proper scan of the atmosphere. We are much below, and much higher ROI than many of the institutes which we know of, and we are not mentioning here. Correct? So that is something that infrastructure cost, the cost of getting the best faculty, the cost of equipment, AI equipment, I just mentioned, like that. Every part of it is seen through very thoroughly discussed, brainstormed before this is brought. We have got some of the top people as our academic board, where there are international faculty, national faculty. They also give us a lot of things. So, keeping that, we have tried to minimize it as much as possible to keep a fees which doesn't change. Our fees doesn't change as many other institutes. Every year they change. What has gone in for 4 years, we don't even change one naya paisa out of that. So there are many things which are there, but the fact is faculty cost, infrastructure cost, equipment cost, these all add up to something which our hostel. So we actually lose money in the hostel and messing, because we have to give Ahmedabad, which is known to safety, but also a gated hostel for our women and the gents. So they're not bothered about, and they can concentrate on classes, etc. So there's a little bit of counterbalancing of funds, but look at, since we are the nodal center for the southern arm, because a lot of import substitution happens in our 3D printers, etc. We also have an incubation center, which is we give lot of other things. Every student, so 2-3 things I would like to mention. We have created Asia Book of Records last year by 295 IPRs on a single day.
Oh,
it has not been done by any institute. Before that, 195 IPRs by our students, and these are all. Today we have 25 patents. And just last week, I knew that my alumni has got 2 US patents. So we are working on all areas where a student can be seen to be growing at a particular way. Yeah. So scholarships are defense scholarship. That is 25% every semester. 3 free ships. It's not a scholarship by the Women's Council of the Indian Navy when they signed up last year. So like that, we try to bring, and of course, there are some places as per the case where some students have had financial difficulties, parents have had, we have been able to get them into that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, you spoke something, a word known as ROI. So I guess my next question is around that only. हम लोग बहुत सुनते हैं, बच्चे भी बताते हैं, हमारे पुराने बच्चे भी बताते हैं, मेरे एक डिजाइन इंडस्ट्री का बजवर्ड है कि यार यहाँ पे आरओआई उतना अच्छा नहीं है, जॉब्स मिलती नहीं है, जॉब्स होती ही नहीं है. तो आपका क्या व्यू है? व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन प्लेसमेंट्स? और सर, आई एम सॉरी मैं आपको इस तरीके से बोल रहा हूँ, एंड पार्डन मी मैम से सेइंग लाइक दिस, बट प्लीज सर इसका घुमा फिरा के आंसर मत दीजिएगा. मुझे आप ये बताइएगा
I'll give you the
क्या
direct
प्लेसमेंट है, कितना परसेंटेज, कितना पैसा?
Yeah, I'll give you the direct answer.
जी.
We say that the median, so people have got even much higher. I'm saying the median for a PG student is about 11 to 12 lakhs, and the median for undergraduates is about 6 to 8 lakhs. It's an improvement since COVID of another 2 lakhs, and this is generally on board. There are very high spikes of some great people being accepted outside India, this and all that. Yeah. But at the same time, see that whether we are legacy or this, we have made a placement brochure where we send it to our 1,500 types of our own people. Internship is through 3 umbrellas. There's a university Career Resource Center. There's a UID Career Services Department. There's a Corporate Connect. We invite corporates in, we go out and have dinners in various places to bring the corporates. Our corporate spent 12 days in various parts. So next they are going to Bombay, they're going to Pune, they're going to Bangalore, wherever there's a designer, especially in the UI UX space and such space. Besides, next 4 days, we are also having what is called the soft skills. Manisha ma'am has been put forward that your portfolio will be assessed only by industry. So at our end, we try to bring as much to help and and we also map our student experience. It's not that what they tell, but also there's an exit form, there's a monthly CCMs, we give them formative feedbacks, we give them summative feedback. So anything and everything in the domain of academics and all is something which we look at very, very critically and keep taking feedback in that sense. Yeah. But mind you that at the internship, when I can show you, and this is in the domain, and I'll be sending to you also, and to all the parents and all we have sent, and the students have been sending it. It has their LinkedIn profile, it has their portfolio, and it has their Insta account, and which keeps evolving. Once the semester 7 works gets in, then the semester 8, the final, the graduation project gets in. And then we have also an alumni desk. So it is not the slow connectivity carries on, and we try and get them the best of place. I agree, in a disruptive world, it is changing. But then so many opportunities opening out. Sanand, which is 40 kilometers, has become a hub of small cars. Bangalore and those places, we have offices there where students can look at the entire tech, deep tech, and immersion. It is not a perfect world. It is not something, because some also we help them in getting global scholarships, global bursaries when they go to these international universities. So universities, placement, and further education. These are the 3 ways we try to bring satisfaction.
It's a kind of holistic approach towards the progression of a student. So, sir, the ballpoint figures which I could gather from here, and for the viewers, it is 6 to 8 lakhs median salary for a UG student, starting salary, and maybe a median figure of 11 to 12 lakhs for a PG student. And sir, if I can just get a ballpoint figure of, or maybe a generic figure, कितना परसेंट प्लेसमेंट एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं हम डिजाइन में या यूआईडी में?
So the mandate is that apprenticeship and internship. So between year 2 and 3, there is internship. Between year 3 and 4, there's internship and apprenticeship 2 to 3. And I'm getting a call. I'll have to leave in some time. And
there is one more question after this, and we are
something. Yeah. So Manisha ma'am can continue, because there's some you have to get into another meeting. So in that we are moving. So in 100% is the placement, and it is attested because we are also in the NAC, and all the data has to be given. In placement is somewhere in the area of 95 to 96%. It's not 100%, but I'm talking only placement, not the ones who are going abroad for education, or not the ones who are going to institutes of national importance. Yeah.
So हम ये बोल सकते हैं जिनको placement चाहिए, almost everybody is getting a placement.
And it's a due process. It's a due diligence. The portfolio is evaluated. They get into a mentoral role, etc., etc. Can you excuse me at this point in time? I'll just leave and take on to the other.
I'll just try to wrap this up with Manisha ma'am. Just one last thing, and we'll just wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And I would just like to add a couple of points to what Colonel just said. I think it's not, the ROI is not just about the company that it just immediately after they pass out, but it's the quality of the company also, and the long-term career that they will have in front of them with corporates like TCS, Accenture, and some of the top companies that approach us for placements. And entrepreneurship, because many students, like I mentioned, designers do like to get into entrepreneurship. So there is support for the students up till the age of 35 if they want to start their own startup or career. There is mentorship and funding available.
But ma'am, generally speaking, I mean, yes, I understood what the points you said about UID and Colonel said about UID.
Yes.
I mean, generally speaking, as a design professional, what are your views? I mean, um, is this hype of design which is coming with students these days, is it worth it? I mean, are there so many opportunities ahead of us, or what are your views around it?
So my views are definitely it is worth it. In fact, I feel the world needs more designers than we have. There
Yeah.
is definitely a demand out there, and really, regardless of industry, there are designers working in the healthcare space, there are designers working in manufacturing, there are airports where designers are employed. So there is no dearth of opportunities out there. And design being a profession that easily adapts, easily integrates multidisciplinary sections of society, it is possible to invent your own area also depending on your passion. So you can be the best of yourself and follow your passion and find a niche for yourself.
Mhm.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think a designer can stop.
Oh wow, that's a big statement that you have given. Because this is one question as a counselor मैं रोज फेस करता हूँ मैम। मेरे से पेरेंट्स आके पूछते हैं, हम करा तो देंगे, बच्चे का बड़ा मन है, पर आई मीन एक है क्या आरओआई अच्छा है, दूसरा क्या सर रियली इसमें जॉब है? क्योंकि एज अ कॉमन मैन कई बार एज अ पेरेंट, एज अ मेंटर फॉर स्टूडेंट्स, हम लोग समझ नहीं पाते कि क्या सही में इसमें जॉब्स हैं, और जॉब्स कैसी हैं, क्या है। अब जैसे मैं एक बहुत छोटे शहर में रहता हूँ, अपकमिंग सिटी है इंडिया का, इंदौर में मेरा रहना है। तो हम यहाँ देखते हैं कि हम हमारे अराउंड डिजाइनर्स एक्सपीरियंस नहीं कर पाते। बट
Right,
when you go to bigger cities like Ahmedabad, when you go to Mumbai, Delhi, and maybe international places like London, Italy, I mean all these places, you experience a lot of designers around. And I'm
right.
sure that is what you also endorsed. And to sum up this complete talk show, I would say कि आज मुझे बहुत सारे insights मिले। आज मुझे ये समझ में आया कि कैसे एक कॉलेज, जो एक प्राइवेट कॉलेज होता है, वो कैसे अपने इनोवेशन से इंडस्ट्री में चेंज ला रहा है, कैसे वो डिजाइनर्स को एक, जिसकी जरूरत इंडस्ट्री को है, जिसकी जरूरत है वो प्रोड्यूस करना भी तो जरूरी है। और जैसा मैं हमेशा सब लोगों को बताता हूं कि एज डिजाइनर्स यू आर बिकमिंग स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल्स, एंड टू बिकम अ स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल यू नीड टू गैदर सम स्किल्स, and I'm sure you can get these skills from a premier institutions like United World Institute of Design. In the end, ma'am, I would like to have your final words for all the aspiring designers out there as they prepare to step into this world of design. What should they focus on, and how they should best prepare themselves for the challenges and opportunities in this field?
So I think that is a very important question,
Mhm.
because while we can do our best to prepare designers and the industry is waiting for them, there is a role that the students and the potential designers have to play. They have to be very, very open. They have to be good listeners, and they have to be empathetic. We don't necessarily need somebody who can draw very well or is very highly skilled, because all that we can teach them. But
Mhm.
the attitude is something that is very important. That attitude for learning new things, the attitude for being respectful to an end user's needs, because ultimately it's all about problem solving, like Colonel said. So really understanding what people need and coming up with solutions, innovative ideas to help them and support them. So always being open, on always being empathetic and asking the right questions at different points. So that I feel is really critical in becoming a designer.
Wow, and I am sure this could have only come from an academician and an industry professional like you. Uh, I take this forum, and on behalf of all the students and parents and my viewers, the channel subscribers, I wish to thank you and Colonel Bose for spending out your precious time, for giving us such beautiful insights about design industry. मे बी हम शायद यूआईडी के बारे में जितना जान पाए उससे ज्यादा हम शायद इंडस्ट्री का पर्सपेक्टिव जान पाए। थैंक यू सो मच मैम, एंड थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर बीइंग हियर एंड गिविंग अस योर इनसाइट्स। And
Totally my pleasure. And I'm speaking for both of us. Totally our pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
so, viewers, I'm sure you can always reach out to United World of Design, Manisha Ma'am, Colonel Bose, or the counselors there for any guidance that you look for. And I'm sure this institution is adding value to the overall design education. Guys, keep liking our channel, keep viewing our videos, and I'm sure we'll be able to help you with a lot of guidance and a lot of support. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you on the other side.